everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. By the way, Sam, we should wish our watchers a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to them all.
And we could include our guests on that.
Our guests as well, Brent.
You want to wish our viewers
Absolutely. We hope they have a great year, 2022, and hope they all come out and support the Spartans during 2022.
Right. Good idea. Speaking of the Spartans, talk about the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's come and gone.
Well, it was here, but the Spartans showed up and
yeah, I thought,
did.
I think in the morning we played pretty well. We had opportunity to, throughout the game, we had a chance late to tie it back up, and things didn't fall our way, but a lot of things went wrong for us early in the game where we didn't play as optimally as I thought we could have. And then, unfortunately, that game, I thought for the first time as I took Coach Brown, this is maybe the first time I thought we played a little bit selfish on our individual parts. Got a little bit behind, and I think people thought we could just catch up if we just kept shooting, and obviously it didn't work very well. So, but it's two quality opponents, and hopefully they'll make us down the tournament trail a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger, and maybe a little bit smarter at times.
Sam, we saw some teams that may go quite deep into the tournament.
Very deep into the tournament, and the Spartans included. But
yes.
the three other teams that we saw, certainly quality programs and some D1 players. A couple of Mr. Basketball candidates. So,
yes,
we're playing with the best, but that's kind of been what we like to do here in the Kerry Brown era. Only makes you better at the end of the season.
What do the players learn from playing teams like that, Coach?
Well, you hope you learn to play, what it takes to beat a team that's just as quality as you are. And obviously they had probably better individual players. I don't know that they have a better team top to bottom. They're solid. They definitely have some D1 players that could take games over if you saw. And I think hopefully our kids will learn that they got to stick together. And like I said, as I told Coach yesterday, this is the first time I think I've seen them play a little bit what I thought was a little bit selfish in game number 2. Game number 1, we just made a lot of early mistakes, unforced turnovers. They were a little quicker than we were in certain spots. And some passes we threw didn't quite get through there. And made a great run at the end and got it back down to 2 and had a chance to tie it up. And ended up losing by, I think, 8. But you never know what happens if you win the first game. Your whole mental approach is a little different coming into the night game as well. So hopefully it'll get us ready for the tournament when you got to play 2 games in one day.
And likewise, losing might change your mental outlook on things for this night game as well. Winning or losing.
Sure. I mean, you're a little disappointed that you didn't get to the finals. And as I made the comment prior to the tournament starting, 4 quality teams are coming on. Unfortunately, somebody's going to come out 0-2. Doesn't mean you're a bad team. It's a pretty good day for everybody if you get out there with getting at least one of those wins. So, unfortunately, we were on the short end of the stick a little bit.
I thought our fans, Spartan Nation, turned out well, and good crowd there. We had, I think, the biggest crowd. Even I didn't stick around too long for the championship game, but consolation game, we had a lot of people there, which was good to see, and there were some comments from the Homestead people to me about they had heard how well we travel, and I said, yes, we do, and of course it helps that we were only 30 miles away as well.
Yeah, I thought our fans did a good job of coming out, Didn't quite sell all of our 500 pre-sale tickets, but I'm sure we had more than 500 in attendance looking at the size of our crowd, and I think we had the biggest crowd of anybody that was there, especially in the morning round. I'd say we were pretty close to the nighttime round as well. So, if we would have won the morning round, I'm sure we'd have a few more hundreds that showed up at the night game as well. So, and hopefully they'll continue to do that, and support the boys. And then, the girls are starting back up Wednesday against Union County, and hopefully we'll get a good crowd to go over and watch them play as well. Go watch the swimmers tonight. So.
Yeah, going to do that.
So, watch your grandson swim.
That's right.
Spartan fans are becoming known for their good attendance at away games, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they've noticed that when we've had teams that are pretty solid and competitive, then our crowd likes to follow them along. So, and it doesn't matter if it's boys basketball, girls basketball, whatever. If we got a good team and we're playing well, people like to watch for whatever purpose. People have tagged on to basketball in the community, and they like to go follow and watch.
Sure.
So.
Homestead's out of Fort Wayne, aren't they?
Yeah, right up in that area. So. Pretty good little distance for them to drive, and of course, Cathedral and Westfield right out of the Indianapolis area. So,
and Westfield's north of Indianapolis,
up in Hamilton County, so up with Carmel and Hamilton Heights and Hamilton Southeastern and Fishers and all those other schools. It's in that county. So,
Would you like to schedule those teams?
I will talk to Coach Brown and whoever he wants to play. We try to
Okay.
get so.
He has the final say.
Well, we try to communicate. This is our last year to play Lawrence North, so we're searching for 2 years from now because next year we have a team coming up from the south to play us 1 year only in the bowl. And they'll be a small school, but they'll be pretty solid. So North Davies will be making a trip to Spartan Bowl. Their coach is from Rushville, and he wanted to bring his junior class up. It was kind of like our junior class, pretty good from top to bottom. And we'll see what happens.
Where's that from? Where's that school from?
25 minutes from Washington, Indiana.
So
I told him we weren't making the return trip. He said, that's okay. 1 year's enough.
Washington's a bit of a drive, right?
Well, we found that out.
Yeah, we did last year. Hopefully we'll get the opportunity to go find out again this year.
So too. Right? We have some video from the Hall of Fame tournament at Newcastle. So let's watch it right now. Sam, what did the we me mean?
Coach Brown had that in the locker room, that we is over me.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yes. Very good. The kids coming out of the tunnel.
Just need a few more of those.
Yeah, we had some unfortunate errors early in the game that I thought we just created on our own. So forced by them. A couple of shots, we rushed a little bit. And 8 ball.
I think it's a well-run tournament. Chris May does a nice job with it.
Yeah, consistently year after year, trying to find those teams to bring in that represent the state at different levels, different years. Then we got in foul trouble against Westfield, and that didn't help. Kids had to sit out a little bit. But we didn't quit. Got down quite a bit, got it back to 45-43 with, as it's shown on TV at minute 8, and had a chance to tie it up. Unfortunately, ball didn't bounce our way. So,
No, it did not.
So your favorite coach in the stand? Coach Painter's in the stands. I'm sure you had a
I didn't get-
one-on-one conversation with the Purdue guy.
I would have. I would have loved to have shook his hand and met him, but I didn't know he was there until I left. And I heard
And he's
about
looking at the kid from Westfield, and he's looking at the kid from Homestead.
Homestead.
And 2 pretty good guards. So
Yeah, had a lot to look at. One of my favorite coaches I did get to talk to, though, and Coach Dickerson, and he was coming in, and you were right behind me there, so always good to see him. And he and his wife and his son and son-in-law were all there in attendance. So.
we had a Connersville graduates kid on the Cathedral team. Steve Malachi Jr.'s son plays for Cathedral.
Yeah,
Got in a little bit taller than Steve.
a little bit.
What's the history of the Hall of Fame game? How long has it been going around?
Oh, Lord, I don't know. I know we played in '85 before it became where it was at, if I remember right.
Yeah,
So.
I think we played in Richmond one time, didn't we? It was
Someone said they rotated them back and forth at Richmond 1 year and Newcastle the next, and then somehow it's ended up, I'm sure since the Basketball Hall of Fame's in Newcastle, it's ended up there. And
And it's by invitation.
invitation only, so you got to be asked to come. Somebody has to like you. You got to have a lot of kids coming back from a successful year before, and typically what happens, and the girls won it in '99 and played in it in '99. And I think that's the last time any of the Spartans have been in it.
It's a quality event, isn't it? I mean, it's...
Yeah, you got to come and play. There's no slouches coming, so...
And it's considered, the referees, they had different referees for every game, and Hall of Fame referees presented that day's referees with a plaque. So to be invited to that in that capacity is an honor for them as well.
Quite an event. And it is an honor for the town and the school.
Well, it was an honor for Dave and I to call the game.
I'll bet,
On KMX,
yes.
just to be there was.
Doesn't happen very often,
No, it doesn't.
something like that. So,
Probably won't happen in my lifetime here again. You never know.
You never know.
well, we hope so.
Well, you don't know. I'm
Well,
sure they
this
don't invite you too quickly back because there's other quality teams out there.
Well, maybe our girls continue to progress, that we could be back with the girls sometime.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to play in a game like that because it is an experience for the kids, and I'm sure they learn from it
Well, I'm sure Coach will teach them something. I know they went to practice yesterday.
I imagine so.
Going to practice today. They didn't go to practice yesterday, but he was in working on stuff this morning, watching film, and saw the Newcastle tape on the video. I'm sure he's getting ready for this Friday with Newcastle and Greensburg coming this weekend. So
Doesn't get any easier.
Plays of
well,
quality.
they're both quality teams, and, so
Greensburg and
Hopefully
Connors
make
will
us
get
better.
together. It's quite a game.
let's hope it's a red and white game.
Well, absolutely.
I think going back to Newcastle that quickly and having just played 2 games there, it's probably good for our guys on Saturday night. If it can't be at home, up there, but we were just there. So,
Well, it's a lot like ours, but it is a little bit bigger just with those 6 rows around the top. But
it's not as pretty as ours. It's not the finest. It may be the largest.
You're
but it's
right.
not
You're
the
correct.
finest.
I'll have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
So,
Greensburg comes to town there, have a couple of losses, I think, on the season, but when they get together with the Spartans, it's always an exciting ball game.
yeah, I think Greensburg just won the wedding last over Christmas break. So,
Yes.
they lost the Sparks kid who went to, I think it was Sparks that went off to school, but I think they're just as good as they were last year. So it'll be a knockdown, drag out, I'm sure.
I think the
Overtime
couple
last-
losses were they had some kids out sick.
Oh,
So,
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some of their
So
players.
yeah.
Well, it's
Don't
good to
wanna
have them here
discount them
this
at all.
year.
Pardon me?
It's good to have them here this year.
Well, anytime you play at home is good, especially when you've got
Okay.
a good team coming in. So we'll take as many home games as we can get.
Of course, Greensburg and the Spartans, we hope, fight for the lead in the conference.
I hope it's just us at the top. So
Okay.
be off to another conference win. It'd be a good way to start the new year. So
There's some pretty good teams this year in the conference. Lawrenceburg's playing well.
They're better, yes.
Franklin County might be a sleeper.
Really?
They're playing very well. They beat Muncie Central down at their place the other day, and so conference-wise, there's some pretty good basketball being played. East Central as well.
That's good. This is February, and that means, almost February, this is January, and the girls are winding down already.
yeah,
In
won't
the
be
last
long. Tournament
weeks of
draw.
play.
Union County on the road Wednesday, and it won't be long. We'll be talking about the tournament draw. So end of
Where
the
is the
month.
sectional this year?
Greensburg, I think, isn't it?
I think it is at Greensburg. They have the girls and we have the boys.
In the boys section?
Our place
That's good
at the end of March, 1st of March, end of February.
for the boys.
So.
The girls are doing better.
No, I think so. I think there's been some changes in time and practice, and they had a pretty good showing in the Invitational.
Yes.
They beat Cowan in the morning game, and then Madison knocked off number 1 2A Winchester in the second game, and we had Madison on the ropes and kind of let it slip through our fingers late in the game and got beat by 3. And I think that was the first time I've really seen them, the majority of the girls really, really disappointed about not winning. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're all hopefully will come out Wednesday night and be ready to go against the Lady Patriots over at their place.
Games this week. Monday is the swimming with Mount Vernon at the CHS Natatorium. On Wednesday, it will be the Spartan Wrestlers home to Richmond at the 6 o'clock start. And the Lady Spartans, as we just talked about, will be at Union County for games at 6 and 7:30. The swimming has a Friday and Saturday day. That's the conference swimming. There's diving, but the Spartans will not be participating.
No, we actually have some divers now that diving, so at least on the girls' side. So they'll go to East Central to do the
that's
diving
good.
on Friday, and then they'll go down to, I think, Greensburg on Saturday to do the swimming. So, but East Central's going to host the diving piece of that. So.
Do we have a chance to host a conference swim?
It rotates. So we just had
Okay.
it a couple years
Okay.
ago, maybe even last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think 2 years ago, but it'll rotate through the schools who want to host it. So.
Okay. Then on Saturday, we'll be at Greensburg at 6 and 7:30 for the games at Spartan Bowl. And Saturday, the Spartans travel to Newcastle for 6 and 7:30 game. So a big weekend coming up for the Spartans and the girls.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get all 4 of those teams off to a good start. The wrestlers come off the Spartan Classic from last week, and we had one winner.
Was it
and,
a success?
Well, I think it was a good success. I think it went off without a hitch. Orland Foster won his weight class. So we actually had a champion, and Gavin Lemon finished 3rd, and I think Levi DeGroat finished 5th, and Jared Barrett finished 7th. So one of the first times we've had multiple people on the stands
That's good.
for a while that I can remember. So had a couple get beat that we weren't expecting to get beat, and didn't quite get to the second day, and came up one match short of being on the podium. So hopefully it's a learning experience, and those kids are all young and can come back next year and do a better job.
What time did it finally wind up?
We were done probably about 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, whatever day it was. What day we have? Tuesdays and Wednesdays. My days are ran together. Tuesday we started, and Wednesday we probably got done around 5:30, give or take in that
I
area.
understand,
So
right.
All the days run together.
It seemed that weekend it just was a big blur. So
Yeah, a lot going on during the holidays.
yeah, you had wrestling on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then basketball on Thursday, and then the week before we had basketball on Thursday with the boys and the girls. So and swimming's back up this week and starting tonight.
How was the tournament, the boys' tournament and girls' tournament?
Well, the boys, I went to watch that. Monroe Central, they are a good team.
Are they? I was
To be a
wondering.
2A team, they came in undefeated, and we had our hands full. Obviously, we didn't win. It always worries me when the AP comes out and says you're number one. That plays, and I'm not saying that it did, but that plays games in kids' heads. That
Absolutely.
maybe gives the impression that they're better, but everybody comes to play. And Monroe Central went on. I think they validated Connorsville's loss in a way because they went on and beat Bloomington North,
Yes.
a 4A school. So they're a good basketball team.
Sure.
And I think they can go
Sounds
deep
good.
into the 2A tournament.
They play like we do, possession by possession, And I think at the end we were down one, and they got a bucket right at the end of the third quarter to put it up 3, and then we didn't get a shot off at the end of the third quarter, and then they got the ball back to start the fourth and went up 5, and I think we got it back to 2, and we just could never get back over the hump, and our little guard hit 14 straight free throws, and their 6'5", 245-pound center played pretty well that day.
Yeah.
The people I know that, remember Chris Munchell that played basketball here, his son's on that team, and Chris told me if the big guy ever comes to play, they could be really, really good, but you just don't ever know if he's going to show up or not. And some days he's there, and
He was there.
he was there that day. So you just never know. He said that was the way it was in football too. If he comes to play, he's pretty good. So
You talked about the kid hitting the free throws, the guard, coach's son. Many times you see coach's sons that can shoot free throws for whatever reason.
well, if they like basketball, they're in there. They're in the gym probably all the time as they're growing up. So the opportunity's there if they want to take that chance.
That was the first tourney for a long time for Connorsville to host. Is that on the calendar for coming seasons?
Let's talk with the coaches to see. We got into that because we were supposed to play in Greenwood on last Thursday in the boys with Greenwood, Brebeuf, and Yorktown, and then when we got invited to the Hall of Fame, we fell 2 games short, so we started scrambling trying to find a game. So we picked this up, and you just don't know if all 4 of those teams would want to come back. I think that would change year to year based on the talents of the team.
I see.
We'll see, but we'll talk with Coach Harder and we'll talk with Coach Brown and see if it's something they want to try to continue.
Otherwise, you try to get individual games or look for
Either
another.
get individual or try to
look for another tournament.
I think we could be invited back to the Greenwood side of the boys. The one the girls went to the year before at Western folded because of COVID and it didn't come back this year. So, or they were going to go to because of COVID because they got out of the Rumble on the River. It kind of fell apart, and went away, and they were going to go to Western. Then the COVID knocked that out. So, and then they didn't have it this year. So, we'll have to see. Even if we maybe don't have the boys, maybe we'll have the girls. I don't know. So.
Wrestlers will be in action on Wednesday against Richmond.
Yeah, come out to the high school gym and watch them. Sometimes we don't always win the team thing because, as we placed pretty well in the Classic. I think we finished in 11th or 12th place overall out of the 31 teams that show up because one team got COVIDed out the night before. So that changed all the things around a little bit. But when it's a team thing, we kind of get hurt a little bit because we don't have every weight class filled. So we have to have some forfeits, and forfeits counts like pins. So you lose 6 points every time you get a forfeit. And the individual kids that we have wrestle pretty good, but we just don't have enough in the number in the weight classes yet. So hopefully that'll continue to grow with Colton as our coaches, and Coach Massey and Coach Gonzalez, and hopefully that'll continue to grow.
Gymnastics is the final winter sport, and it begins shortly.
Yeah, I think it starts next Tuesday or next Monday, whichever day it is.
I think we could.
Tuesday, I think.
Mount-
New Pal and Newcastle is the
Okay,
first out of the
coming in,
chute.
right.
So I know Joanne has a outside gymnastics meet this Sunday, and we're going to leave pretty much the floor set up. So I think it starts on Tuesday for the girls with the New Pal Dragons and Newcastle Trojans coming to town. Of course, if you know anything about gymnastics, we have about everything at home all the time. So we only travel twice out of the whole year. So we either go, we always go to Columbus East because that's where the regional's at, and every other year we travel back and forth with Rushville. Everybody else comes to us for everything. So
That's all right.
it is. I mean, it's good for our kids. So less travel for our girls. So.
That's a good program. Not too many schools have gymnastics anymore, do they?
Fewer and fewer numbers across the state. They're kind of in pockets. There's really not much south of Columbus, and you know the region's got Chesterton and Valpo and Merrillville and all those, and up around the Fort Wayne area, and kind of here in the middle. And after that, it's kind of thin. Less than 70 schools, or right at 70 schools across the state. Probably a few more schools now, just because we have some individuals. Franklin County has a girl that does gymnastics now. Union County's had one the last couple of years
That's
since
good.
she graduated. So LaPel has a few, and they just kind of. They're just trickles of them here and there that come as individuals. So,
We're fortunate to have a veteran coach.
yeah, Joanne's done it for a while. I won't say how long, but I don't know that she'll ever get out. That's her passion. So,
She does a good job, though.
I think one day when she's done, we'll just find her in a resting place, and that'll be inside the gym somewhere. So,
That's a good idea.
I think she would be content and happy if that's what happened. Don't want that to happen for a while, but I think. I told her that one day. I said, "You'll be like that guy on the movie Teachers. You're just gonna. He died in the classroom, and so you're gonna end up being in that gym." Because you're probably correct. So, but,
40 years probably, isn't it?
I want to say she said 46 or so. So
Sounds.
it's been a while. So, or as they say today, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Not really sure what that definition is, but it's been a minute.
On the middle school level, the boys are doing pretty well. They're kind of busy this week. A couple of ball games.
Yeah, they play tonight. The 7th and 8th grade white team, I think, take on Waldron. So the girls are getting ready to gear up. They'll start
Yes.
playing their games now, but we're after the New Year, so it'll just be a busy time the next few.
We have
4
a
or 5 weeks.
freshman basketball team game coming up.
Sometime. Don't ask me what day.
Okay.
We have the invite. We're going to host the EIAC tournament for the freshman boys. It's our year to host the boys, so
Good.
we'll have some games coming up here in the next couple of weeks. That'll be at the field house. It'll be 4 games in one day, assuming everybody and the boys have a freshman team, which so far they have a freshman or a C team, and then the girls are played a different place, and then eventually we'll host the boys championship and the girls championship here. So.
Speaking of the field house, is it getting some use for spring sports like baseball and?
Yep,
some
it's
things
getting,
coming up?
baseball's been in, softball's been in, soccer's been in, volleyball's starting in, tennis has been in, so track's in there, and it's been busy.
Are they under IHSA regulations this time of the year, or?
Yeah, they can meet 2 days a week, 2 times, 2 hours at a time up through 1st of February, then they have to stop for a little bit.
Okay.
So then they can just do workouts as far as weight conditioning and agility drills, but they can't shoot balls or throw balls or kick balls, or except for baseball, they can long toss for arm strength and softball. So but they can't simulate pitching. So
And the field house is a new facility.
yeah, 2nd year, it's getting a lot. Coaches are finding better ways to use it.
Sure.
More opportunities for our kids to get some things done in the off season.
Yeah, it's great to be indoors in the bad weather and
It's much better than running in the hallways where we used to
some
run.
things they
so.
couldn't do before, right?
Right. So
Yeah, it was a great building, great addition to the sports program.
yeah, I think it's helped our kids and given the, not just in athletics, but phys ed uses it as well. And
Sure.
our guard goes in the mornings on Saturday and has a place to practice. And the band's been in there when it's been rainy outside, in the time when they got court space in there to work. And so it's worked out for everybody.
You got a lot of good use in the fall in volleyball and some of those sports.
Yeah, volleyball and freshman basketball play all their games
That's
in there.
what I thought.
The only things that we left in the high school gym, the old high school gym, is wrestling and gymnastics, just because it's easier for the equipment to be over there and you don't have to haul it back and forth, and storage. And for me, just being an ex-gymnastics dad, it's kind of nice to sit at the top and you can see everything. Sometimes you go to gyms and you sit down low and you really can't see a whole lot, but From a wrestling standpoint and a gymnastics standpoint, you can actually see the whole match without people walking in front of you. And kids aren't running around everywhere. You're up there by yourself, and they're not down on the floor getting in the way. So it's a good setup.
So we're lucky to have some of the facilities that we have.
Yeah, it's good for
good use and everything.
Sometimes it's hard to find gym space.
The old junior high school gym not being used at all now, is that correct?
Middle school south?
Yeah.
No, it's not ADA compliant, and that's. I think there's plans to
tear that down.
Something's going to happen to that building, but I don't know exactly what. So,
it's too
but the
bad.
floor's got some more percent just from weather, and roof's not doing well. Last I knew, so some water leakage. So
It would be hard to put anything in there, right?
yeah, once you start changing, you got to bring it all up to code. So you have to bring it up to the date. So everything would have to be ADA compliant, new plumbing, and new lighting, and new heating, and it's probably just not going to be. Probably easier if you're going to build something, just rebuild it from the bottom up instead of trying to refurbish. So
Spartans in basketball has some tough games coming up.
I don't know that we have any easy ones from top to bottom. So
Probably not.
yeah, it'll be good for our kids. Both.
Sure. I mean, you want the tough games.
You know,
as
Fran,
March.
Early March will be the 50th anniversary of our first state championship. You were there.
Yes, I was there.
I have you on CD.
That was quite an evening now at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Their second year, I think the second year for Bobby Knight. And a Remembrance Day, to say the least. And coming home from the championship and the crowds along the way, wishing the Spartans the best of luck and congratulations.
Pretty amazing, wasn't it?
And the Commissioner, Phil Eskew, was here for the championship tournament celebration. It was quite a time. Phil was quite a man. Did you know him?
I know his son. I didn't know him personally.
So. Yeah, he was quite a commissioner, and no, he was very pleased when he could come to Connorsville and congratulate us. And his wife was with us, and it was quite a celebration.
Well, let's hope one of these days we can find out what that's like again in one of our
I
sports.
hope so. I hope we don't.
We got 20 opportunities to give that a shot.
I think we can find space for another banner there somewhere.
We'll find space for whatever if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to some of the away gyms and look up, and you think at Connorsville with the banners hanging in the north end, signifying the 2 championship years.
Pretty special.
Absolutely. Not very many schools have 2 banners hanging. Well, Muncie Central comes to mind, but
Yeah.
We have 8, not counting the one at Muncie South.
Yeah, they've hung the red one in there now.
Marion has 5.
yeah, it was.
I always like to point out that Richmond only has 1.
Well, we'd take 1 in whichever of the 20 sports we could get it in.
And that's
yeah,
true.
that's it. That's something. Class A was not around then. It was one class, and really meant something for a little guy to beat the big guy.
Yeah, and I think that's still out there at times, but I think the kids are excited. The kids now don't know anything about that, so.
True. Yeah, they think we're.
When they win, it's just as exciting for them, and whether they're 1A or 4A or whatever it is, and have been on that board and watched those kids smile when you hang those medals on their neck, and even if it's the one who didn't get in the game, you couldn't tell. So, good feelings.
Coach, as always, thanks for joining us
Happy to be here.
on today's program, and see you again shortly after a few more wins.
Let's hope we have all the wins by
Victories by
all
the
of our
Spartans.
Spartans. So, be
We're
good.
glad you're back in that seat, too, Fran.
We appreciate that, Sam. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3.